Welcome to Find the Connection, the podcast where we explore the history, development, events, and stories that make Northeast Florida so inviting. I'm your host, Kendra Robertson, a real estate professional, community leader, wellness ambassador, and proud resident of Jacksonville Beach for over 30 years. In each episode, we'll dive into the stories of the people that are making a difference, both at a local level and nationally. We'll share an inside look at real estate with tips for maintaining work-life balance, from winning your mornings to winning your day, all while staying connected with our vibrant local community. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's find the connection between community and living your best life. I just wanted to start with an introduction or introductory episode of just why I felt the need or the desire to start a podcast. And I'm a real estate professional. I'm a community leader. I'm a wellness ambassador. And I'm just going to start with my work history a little bit. So I did almost a decade of retail, a decade of restaurant, and 18 years of property management. And one of the things I learned working retail, because it was a company based out of LA, hitting the East Coast, I was opening stores and managing stores for a company that ultimately became the Neiman Marcus Group, owned by General Cinema. So I learned a lot in that job and in development in the sense of location is everything. And then I ended up at Ragtime, a restaurant in Beaches Town Center, where Atlantic Boulevard, I-10, some of you may know that better. We call it Atlantic Boulevard. It dead ends into the ocean. North of Atlantic Boulevard is Atlantic Beach, and south of Atlantic Boulevard is Neptune Beach. So we call it Beaches Town Center. We also call it the corner. The locals call it the corner. And working at Ragtime, I feel like everything's 6 degrees of separation from Ragtime. It was a great place to meet a lot of people. Obviously, when you're in a restaurant, you're happy, you're in a good mood, all that kind of stuff. I went on to manage a commercial mixed-use property in that same area, in that same central business district, as well as some other properties. And I did that for about 18 years, and it was a great job while I was raising my children, my 3 daughters. And everything that I did previously kind of set me up for success with a real estate career. My property management job exposed me to a lot of renovations, dealing with vendors in maintaining properties, landscapers, plumbers, pressure washers, all that kind of stuff. So when I go to help someone list their house, I have resources. Not only do I have a good knowledge of kind of, the costs of stuff, I have vendors that I can reach out to. So if I'm working with a buyer and I'm not sure how much something's going to cost when I'm in a repair negotiation, I can pick up the phone and reach out to vendors that are resources for me that I've used in the past and continue to use, so that I have a good idea, so on a selling side and on a buying side, my experience and my connections have really helped me and helped my clients. I have also dealt with city officials and just, really gotten to know people in the community. So that takes me to community. I think I got involved, I know I got involved in a volunteer sense when my first child, Fiona's first, Sabrina's second, and Ella is the end. That's how I like to say the birth order of my daughters. But when Fiona entered Duval County school system, her teacher ultimately lost the ability to teach in the state of Florida for verbally and physically harassing the children. So I got kind of thrown into figuring out what was wrong in that classroom. I developed a relationship with the principal. Took me to being on the school advisory council, being involved in the PTA. I was one of those moms that just, you know, wrote grants, built playgrounds, just got involved. And I enjoyed it. I think that our local schools are just wonderful. We have a great school system in Jacksonville, particularly at the beach, which is the barrier island is where I live. So in that realm of just being a busy mom, I also was working and getting involved within the community. And the Central Business District of Beaches Town Center has a nonprofit, and it's the Beaches Town Center Agency, which works with the city of Atlantic Beach and city of Neptune Beach and the city of Jacksonville to beautify the Central Business District. So being involved in that, I have had a voice in my community. I've had a voice. The businesses in that area have had a say, and we work together. So the community, the nonprofit, and the businesses benefit from working together with this nonprofit. I also, somewhere along the way, became the director of the North Beaches Art Walk, which is held every third Thursday on the sidewalks throughout Beaches Town Center, showcasing local artists, regional artists. Some artists come in from the outskirts of Jacksonville, and the other events that I have been involved in have been fundraisers for the Beaches Town Center nonprofit. We host a music festival, which has artists as well, and a kids zone and food, and just it's been going on, I think, 38 years, Dance in the Streets every third Saturday in May. Our nonprofit also does a tour of homes, which we just finished as I record this episode, our 7th annual, and it's not homes for sale, it's more of a nosy neighbor tour. People in our community just opening the doors to their home to ticket holders, showing off their style, their landscaper, their architect, their designer. And actually this year, we had 3 Beaches Town Center Agency board members, or I should say former board members, that opened their homes on this 7th annual tour of homes. At any rate, the events in Beaches Town Center, the things that I've been involved in, I'll be sharing some of those stories. And one of the reasons I realized it's the stories that I want to share. Joanna Fletcher, she was the original treasurer for the Beaches Town Center Agency, and her home was on tour for the Beaches Tour of Homes this past year. And we got to talking about the beginning of this board and how it, so many people ask me, well, I don't get it. What are you raising funds for? What do you do? Currently, we also wrap all the palm trees in that central business district with lights during the holidays. So that's a big project. But yeah, it was really neat to hear some of her stories, and I'm hoping to get her on here as well. It was neat to see the progress that we've made in our community and the people that are a part of it. So yeah, I hope to not only share their stories, but also some of the history, some of the development of our area. And then the third piece on this podcast is wellness. And I have been on my own wellness journey. I've always been very active, never worried about my weight, that kind of thing. And I had a whiplash-induced headache for a year. I gained a lot of weight, which gave me other issues. Weight gain caused other health issues. And I was just a busy mom of 3, and my health kind of got put on the back burner. So busy raising 3 daughters, 3 amazing daughters, and my marriage started to disintegrate. I was just doing everything I could to make sure that my daughters survived puberty with their self-esteem intact, which they did. Then I got to an age where menopause was hitting me. I found out I had an autoimmune disease. I have a thyroid issue. So all these things kind of snowballed into me not being in the best state of mind, health, all that kind of stuff. So as a divorced empty nester, I like to call this chapter my turn. And one of the things that really was a turning point for me in this health journey was giving up alcohol. And I'm now alcohol free as of this recording over 3 years, 3.5 years. I've also gone gluten free. I am limited dairy and moving my body and all of the good things. I discovered yoga along the way, worked on my circadian rhythm, just getting up at the same time, going to bed at the same time. I also found a group of open water swimmers, so I start my day in the ocean at sunrise, except for on the weekends. The group doesn't meet until 8:30, but I average about a mile a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. This will be the third winter that I have been swimming every morning and winning my morning. And as an entrepreneur, that's really important. And my business coach within Keller Williams, as I was kind of beginning this journey, she was creating, and my business coach is Kimberly Gyrey with Keller Williams Wellness. And she created a wellness group within Keller Williams. They started with two affinity groups. One was an ADHD group, and one was a clarity group. And the clarity group was designed for people battling sobriety, trying to stay sober, agents that had family members. It was a resource, it was a support group, that kind of thing. And I had found an online community already in my early days of sobriety with SoberSys, which is Jen Couch out of Texas. And I connected with a bunch of women in that program, and it was just phenomenal. It was phenomenal to meet other women that wanted to change their relationship with alcohol. I ultimately decided not to have a relationship with alcohol. So yeah, so that was kind of my first exposure to online communities. And then the Keller Williams Wellness began my next journey with the online communities. And as I really changed my relationship with alcohol and decided, you know, I don't want to drink anymore. I talked with Kimberly, and I was actually at a conference with her in, I think it was San Antonio. And I realized that maybe the sobriety wasn't my story. Maybe the wellness was my story. And I know that when I got my real estate license, I started a business really with no money. It was a huge leap of faith. I know a lot of people. I felt confident that I could do a good job, but I was hitting it really hard. I like to say, for those of you that have seen the movie Officer and Gentleman, where Richard Gere's character, they're trying to get him to DOR, drop on request. And he says, I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go. That's kind of what I felt like when I first got into real estate, because again, I was single, almost an empty nest, trying to just get myself financially stable. And I hit it hard. I hit it really hard. And within the first year of full-time real estate, I was considered a top producer in my market center. And this KW Wellness community really came at a good time, because I was hitting that burnout mode of, how do I do this? How do I make myself available all the time? So it really became a good fit in the sense that I'm healthy. I'm at a normal weight. I've broken through my unhealthy decade. And as an entrepreneur within the real estate industry, My circadian rhythm is good. I am on a ton of supplements health-wise, dealing with my autoimmune and all that kind of stuff. But I feel good. I'm in a good place. And I have been sharing my story locally, regionally, nationally, just trying to help other agents, help other people, not even in real estate, you know. I am just sharing in general. And that's why I've put a wellness piece into this podcast, because like Tyler Elstrom, who is in charge of the KW ADHD group, he's doing amazing things. You know, he's helping agents to run their business, stay organized, that kind of thing. And as a real estate professional, I want to be a resource. I want to advertise the fact that Keller Williams has this community, and it's helped me in my journey. And I am looking forward to just, you know, my goal is to move without pain, stay healthy, stay active. And yeah, I think Jacksonville in general is, I like to say, I live where other people vacation. So this podcast it'll focus on the greater Jacksonville area, but it'll also focus on some of those regional and national communities that we all can connect with in some way. So yeah, I just hope that you join me on this journey. And as someone that's been actively involved in leadership roles in my community, as a realtor within Northeast Florida and beyond, I hope that you'll join me as I introduce on this podcast and interview people that have influenced me or impacted me in some way. And I hope that you find some connection with this as well. Thanks for listening to Find the Connection. I hope today's episode gave you some helpful insights and inspired you to get involved in your community. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps others find us. And if you're interested in making a move or learning more about Northeast Florida, reach out to me anytime. Let's keep finding the connection together. Until next time, stay connected and keep thriving.